Shane, going back and looking at the first matchup with Tampa, what stands out about your guys' performance on offense?
I think going back and looking, I think we got it rolling there in the second half a little bit. Obviously, we got off to the slow start. We had to be a little better on third down there, so we're looking through that. They did some good things defensively against us. So we're going through all those situations, seeing what we can do better from the first game. And obviously, we're a little different team. They're a little different team, but we're looking forward to the challenge on Sunday.
Martin and then Dave.
Hi, Shane. More specifically on that, like how is Jalen different from the first time you guys played the Bucs back in October?
Well, I think he's just grown. I think he's grown as a quarterback. You can see the growth that he's made from that game to now. He's throwing the ball well. He's getting the ball out of his hands, and then he's creating these big plays with his feet like he's been doing. But I think it's just the repetition. When someone plays and continues to play and play and play, you see the growth and what he's doing. So we're excited where he's at, and I know he's fired up for this game on Sunday.
Dave and Jeff McLean.
Shane, how do you know Jalen's ready for a moment this big, as young as he is?
He's played big games in college, and the way he prepares, I know I've said this a million times, but the way he prepares for every game, that's what you want in a quarterback. His preparation is second to none. He loves ball. He grinds every single day, mentally and physically, to get ready to play on Sunday. So I know he's going to be ready to go.
Jeff and then John.
Shane, what makes it so hard to run the zone read against Todd Bowles' five-man front?
Well, I think he does a good job with his scheme. And you look at their front guys, I mean, it starts up front with Vita Vea and Sue and Shaq and Pierre-Paul, and then you got White and David in the middle. I mean, that's a heck of a group right there. And they're tough, they're physical. And like you said, their scheme, like I said, their scheme is really good. And he does a heck of a job. He's a really good defensive coordinator, and he puts his guys in position to make plays. So we're looking forward to the challenge, and we'll be ready to go.
John and Jeff Mosher.
Hey, Shane, you kind of mentioned their front seven there. Antoine Winfield Jr. wasn't there when you guys played him the first time. What does he kind of add to their defense, and what do you have to do to account for him?
Well, he's a physical player, and he can fly around and make a ton of plays. So I think with all those, I mean, you got to know where all these guys are at all times. You got to have a plan for them, and that's what we're working through right now. And that's the biggest thing, is being prepared and have a plan for all these guys.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then Mike.
Hi, Shane. I wanted to ask you about Kenneth Gainwell coming out of the game against Dallas there. You guys haven't historically given him a ton of carries when you've had a full stable of running backs healthy. Did he do anything in that Dallas game to maybe even earn more carries, even if you have a healthy Miles and Jordan?
Yeah, I think that's a week-to-week basis. We got a great group of backs that we trust in all those guys, and every time these guys have a chance to step up and play ball, like Kenny got a whole bunch of reps, he took advantage of his opportunity. And he's continuing to grow as a young player, learning from the veteran guys, and we love where our backfield's at right now.
Go ahead, Mike, and then Zach.
Hey, Shane, you didn't blame Johnson and obviously you've been a little bit more run focused since that matchup. How do you think the dynamics of having Lane back in the lineup and maybe the different approach to the offense will help you guys help you guys be a little bit more versatile against the Buccaneers?
Well, Lane's one of the best tackles in the league, and he brings the physicality to our offensive line along with Jason and the rest of those guys. But his physicality and his mindset and his attitude, that when he comes to play, he's always ready to go. So fired up to have Lane ready to roll, and we'll go from there.
Go ahead, Zach, and then Bo.
Hey, Shane, as a play caller or part of the play calling process, are you only looking at the opposing defense, or do you pay into consideration who the opposing quarterback is and I guess how that factors in to the other team?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think you got to take all that into consideration, how they play a running quarterback compared to a drop back quarterback and what his calls are. So you always look at those things, and we go through that process week in and week out to see how he's going to play certain quarterbacks. And we're doing that right now. So that's a great question.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't ask the question well. I meant like the fact that they have Brady and now they're keeping the ball away from him, playing the other quarterback too, and not just the defense?
Oh, yeah, no, I think that's a great question. I think the biggest thing is anytime you go into a game, we want to win the turnover battle. Time of possession is huge, and then we want to create explosive plays. Any way we can do to create explosive plays. When you win the turnover battle and create explosive plays, you got a high percentage chance of winning the football game. So we got to take care of the football going into this game and create explosives.
Go ahead, Bo, and then Rube.
Shane, going into that last game against the Cowboys, knowing that you weren't going to be playing a bunch of the starters, do you put in stuff specifically for the purpose of making, the opposing defensive coaches like spend time on it this week, give them different looks, sort of tendency breakers, just to sort of make them waste time or just something to distract them a little bit?
Yeah, no, I think when we game plan against Dallas Cowboys, we went into it like our normal game plan. So I don't think there was really anything there, to be honest.
Okay.
All right, we'll take 2 more here. So go ahead, Rube, and then Tim.
Hey, Shane, I wanted to follow up on something you just said. You were talking about how deep your stable of running backs is. Obviously, you've got 4 guys who've had success in the league. What does it take on their part as far as, I guess, unselfishness and team first attitude to exist in that kind of atmosphere where, there's so many talented guys, there might be a game or 2 where they don't get a touch or that kind of thing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think what we're very fortunate enough is they're great guys. They're great guys, and they're unselfish, and they want everyone to succeed in that room. And Jamal, our running back coach, does a heck of a job with those guys week in and week out and getting those guys prepared to play. And whoever's in there, they step up and they make plays. And I think it's a credit to that group and the unselfishness of all those guys.
Go ahead, Tim.
And on the subject of running backs, in that first matchup with Tampa, you guys had, I think, 1 running back carry in the first half. Curious if that game served as a catalyst for change on offense. If you kind of look back and view that as, a turning point where you guys decided, we really got to plant our foot in the ground here.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I think after that game, it was basically like a mini bye since it was a Thursday night game, and we sat down and talked about, where we're going offensively, and I think we made a little switch there, and then we kept rolling from there, and it's been good.